this video, we'll talk about how to make recessed game boards for Maglev Metro. It was pretty apparent early on that we discovered we had to use recessed game boards in order to keep everything in place. There's a lot of tiles that are stacked on top of each other, particularly track tiles, where you have multiple track tiles laying on top of each other, and in order for that to work, they need to stay in place. We ended up making these really big stations, and these stations provide kind of the anchors for those track tiles, and the track tiles stay in place because the game board has a recessed spot for the stations to fit into. Since we were doing that and we needed a place to put the stations before they're on the map itself, we ended up putting recessed spots for the stations kind of in their starting spots.
We chose to do Manhattan and Berlin as the double-sided game board. Manhattan is kind of the iconic New York City subway. For Berlin, it actually has some historical significance. Berlin is one of the first places that used a magnetic levitation metro system. For creating the maps, we don't have a printer that's going to print this big at this quality, so we print this in sections. We print a little oversized. We cut out a piece of cardboard on the laser cutter. That's that same size that we cut out of the actual map. And then we place it within that cardboard area on the laser cutter, and that way we're ensured that we cut exactly in the right place for the map itself. One of the important things to do after anything's laser cut is wiping off the edges of those pieces, because it's black and it's really easy to touch that and then touch the front and then get that dark soot all over the printed pieces. In order to attach the map pieces that we're cutting out onto the cardboard, we run it through a Xyron. Xyron is just a little machine, little plastic machine that applies adhesive to the back of anything that you print on, and then you can attach it to cardboard or wood or anything else. Then we take that piece of cardstock that has the printed material on it and stick it down directly onto the cutout cardboard. Then we place that back inside the laser cutter, and that's what ends up cutting out the exact shapes, and they're in their exact correct locations. We glue the top piece, that's the cutouts, on top of the bottom piece, and now we have a recessed area for each of those stations.